And we are live after a couple glitches, bumps, and the matrix of YouTube. We are live. I will let the chat load. I will actually go to my community and put up a poll. So we can invite people on over so we can see what's going on. Because today we have a lot to discuss. We have yet another person that tested positive for a banned substance or a performance enhancing drug. All of it is to give you an advantage in the ring physically. Okay. I think a little bit of it is mental instead of physical. Because, mentally you're taking something that you feel or think. A lot of times you might feel something, but a lot of times it's going into the acknowledgement of having that. Like certain people think they're having effects of like placebos, and then really it's in their mind. So I think at the end of the day, that may be the the reason for that. But that's what we need to talk about. So I'm going to make a poll. I'm creating it now as we speak. All right, Av Sounds, big up from the UK. Great show, appreciate you. Victor Rodriguez, what happened, Kurt? When? Just now? Yeah, I started a poll. Just so I just sent it over to my other device. But yeah, I want to talk about that. I want you guys' take on it. That's why I'm going to make a poll. I do not have my laptop with me. I'm still out of town, so until then, because I hear you can do the live poll, which would be cool. So I'll figure that out as time prevents, maybe in StreamYard or something. So I'm making that right now. Okay. Oh, no. And all right. Boom. Okay, so Victor Rodriguez with Oscar and Canelo. Yeah, exactly. With these two successful boxers, very champions, featherweight. What I think he's 30-23, no losses, no draws. Canelo Alverez is like 50 some odd or whatever. So we have two votes, and look, and here's it's 50-50. So we'll see what happens. I'll let the chat load, of course. YouTube's been tripping lately. It kept kicking me off yesterday, and I apologize about the last stream yesterday. I don't know if I was going through a bad area or what, but it wasn't allowing me to, continue. It was real choppy, so I just pulled the plug. So, we could talk a little bit about that, what we were talking about, that Jake Paul stuff, and in fact, that also includes PEDs, because Jake Paul, that's the word around the campfire. He didn't take a test. So I'm like, okay, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting thing. So we got 6 votes at 3 apiece. So if you guys haven't voted, it's over there for you. So, feel free to join in. But I just want to elaborate on it real quick. You guys tell me what you think. We'll talk about it. That's why we're here. Some boxing talk. Now let's talk about cheating. Cheaters. Because that's what it is. When you feel you have to take a performance-enhancing drug, you're a cheater. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. Now, the bad thing about that is, if you're taking something like, let's say an inhaler, right? You're taking an inhaler. Well, inhaler has all types of chemicals and shit with it, like ask Billy Joe and, other people that took those types. You are responsible for each and everything on here. Okay, everything. You're responsible for it. Okay, so that's the unfortunate thing, because doesn't mean you are intentionally guilty, but what does it really mean? So let's see. All right, now it's taken off. We got 19 votes on this sucker. And for the people that vote, please come to the live stream, because there's 19 votes, but there's only 10 people on here. You know what I mean? So that just shows you that either people don't look or they don't know. Matter of fact, I'm going to do this because I think it's better this way anyhow. Yeah. So there you go. So we have Oscar Valdez. The situation is it's phentamine, right? So he tested positive in his A sample for phentamine, or phentamine, probably phentamine, right? So phentamine is something that helps you lose weight, increases your heart rate, and increases your stamina. It's a performance-enhancing drug. So the question you ask yourself, well, hey, it came from tea. So that was the latest thing he said. Hey, it came from tea. He even had Bob Arum, of course, as his promoter, signing, it came from the fucking tea. You bastards are always trying to find some new shit to put on the banned substance list. Since you don't have shit else to do, you look to fuck with fighters. They got vitamins out there. The clenbuterol that Canelo Alverez was taking, and the shit that Alexander Povetkin was taking, it was off the charts. It was legal to take. You bastards all of a sudden want to make it illegal. Fuck you. Oh man, what do you do? What do you think of female boxer Tess Tickle from the UK? I never heard of her, King Louis. I bet your ring IQ has. Catherine Catterell. But, who knows? I mean, who knows if he knew or didn't? So I think the question would be fair to ask, did he really know or did he not? But that's why I put it, is he guilty or innocent? We know Canelo Alvarez said it was the beef. Where's the beef? You remember Billy Joe Saunders, resurrected that bad experience, I guess, for Canelo, that stigma. Beef. You like beef, eh? You like beef? Mexicans like that beef. You like Mexican beef, eh? Oh, Chris Shuck. Hey, Kurt. How are you doing today? Man, I'm doing pretty good. Word of the day, I think guilty, but where is the evidence? Well, that's the thing. The argument is, word of the day. The argument is he had it from, or he contracted it, or it was in his system by the use of the tea. So I didn't know, like herbal tea. I don't know. I don't know anything about the tea that he took. Maybe it was a special type of tea. Maybe it was a special drink like Alex Ariza, right? Let's hit that like button, guys. Let's get that like button up. We got 30 on here. Let's hit the like button. In competition ban, so long as he don't use it in fight mode, he good. Chevy Flows, no, that's absolutely false. In the clean boxing program, it doesn't matter if you're in competition or out of competition, you're still guilty. Counterpunch. That's not true. I read that today. The clean boxing program with the WBC with VADA, they don't care if you're in competition or out of competition. So I just let that be known, people. So don't be believing that, because I heard the in competition and out of competition when they had an issue with the WBO when Billy Joe Saunders had that spray, that inhaler, right? And he used some type of inhaler, and he used it, and then it was like it was legal out of competition, and then but it was legal in or illegal in competition. So like it was weird, but with the WBC they don't care. They don't care at all. Isaac Myers, what up, Kurt? Love the counter punching. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Isaac Myers in the building with that counter punch. We got 58 votes, 7 minutes. Oof. You know what? I'm actually going to change that, because is Oscar Valdez innocent or guilty? I guess not guilty or yes guilty. Matter of fact, let me do this. I'm gonna delete that because it's too misleading. Yeah. I'm gonna delete that. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make another one. I apologize for everybody that did. It was less than 60 people. So I'm making another one. All right. Yeah, this makes more sense. So there we go. So I made another one. The benefit from the drug while training, the drug leaves their system and then they are clean. Well, well, let's look at it like this. If that's the case, then if the drug leaves their system and then are clean. So that means it's better to take it out of competition, and then when you're training, get off of it and cycle off of it. That's what you're saying, right? Because in other words, they don't know what you were taking when you're out of competition, but it doesn't matter anyway, because that's how he got popped. If he was in competition, because he's getting ready to fight, or he was. So I don't know. I mean, but I like the idea that they test year round. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're fishing on a boat, you're out, chilling. You just don't want to be like one of those Oscar De La Hoya type, Pernell Whitaker type, Mike Tyson type, that you party and you do other shit anyway. You do a couple lines, or you smoke a couple blunts, or something like that wouldn't be kosher or legal for something year round. So you come to someone that's not fighting, like Mike Tyson Fury's another one. He tested positive for cocaine, but he wasn't fighting anybody. He was just getting drunk and high. You know what I mean? Thank you for giving the truth counterpunch. You and the other guys doing YouTube boxing endless shows alone one these days who telling nothing but the truth. You guys are the reason I watch boxing. Delau 2020. We have to keep it alive. We have to keep it hot. We have to keep the stories credible, coming with the new content. The boxers, they have lives after this. And really, if it wasn't for really like backstories and other fights, those fighters with the 24/7s and stuff like that, I don't think we would have that type. That's what made people like Ellie Setback a living, because They were people that did other shit. They went out with their families. They went out to eat. They went out to party. They did other things by boxing. Boxers have a very interesting life. They do more than get it in at the gym. It's a lot of stuff that boxers are a part of. You know what I mean? Look up Arturo Gatti, for example. Arturo Gatti was a guy that lived life like crazy. Okay? He was no stranger to the party life. He did that. Rooftop parties. New Jersey, New York, Montreal. He partied his arse off. Okay, so those type of things, if Arturo Gatti, and if they would have had 24/7 and stuff in the 90s when Roy Jones Jr. was slamming all those women and Mike Tyson and all those, if they would have had that then, Mike probably would have beat one of them up, honestly. Like Ellie sat back and running around fucking with Mike Tyson. Come here, you prick. Oh, no. Mike just come for you. Come here. Beat you up. So, no, I mean, but that is what makes boxing boxing. The backstories, the story behind the story, the outside stories outside of the ring. That's what makes it the way it is. Alverez got busted. No, Alvarez been busted. Sign cutter. Been busted. Clenbuterol. Wilder better than Ali. Oh, God. Stop. That's disrespectful. Wilder has not even fought his first defining career loss and avenged it yet. So how the fuck is he better than Muhammad Ali? And I'm not hating on Wilder. It's just people say stupid shit when it comes from someone that's a 3-time champion, heavyweight world champion, like Muhammad Ali. So, again, the things Ali went through. He went through real shit. Not saying that COVID is not real. Not saying that racism is not real. I don't want to give people the wrong idea. Not saying that cops killing people senselessly, excessive force is not real. But what I'm saying is, Muhammad Ali came in Cassius Clay / Muhammad Ali came in a different era, and he had to put up with different types of shit and still be where he is. Counterpunch. Okay, so to say something like that angers me because it's like, oh, Wilder's better than Ali. Dude, stop. You don't even fucking know boxing then. You didn't watch Ali, obviously. You didn't know who he fought. He fought Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury and Andy Ruiz and Dillian White. The type of dudes that Ali fought. And when I'm talking about those guys, I'm talking about he fought Foreman. He fought Frazier. He fought Sonny Liston. He fought Floyd Patterson. He fought all these fucking guys. Okay? Not just one guy that beat him. That's Wilder. So stop. That shit angers me. We're not even talking about that. Plus, Ali fought with Parkinson's. No, if he fought with it, he's probably developing the shit. Ali can't do the rope-a-dope on Wilder. He wouldn't have to. He don't have to do the rope-a-dope on a person that's not going to press him. Tips 42,000 or 42K, whatever. Do you know what type of fighter Wilder is? Of course he did. Just see how it is. They was all doped up back then. You talking about back in when? He's a KO artist. Okay, he KOs people. All right, so why would Ali have to rope-a-dope him? Wasn't George Foreman a KO artist too? Yes or no? Okay, so, that's a landslide. That's a landslide. A KO artist, not like Wilder. Well, yes, not like Wilder. Wilder's tall, rangy, lanky, right? And he doesn't press people on the ropes to fight them. He doesn't do that. Now, I'll give you that. Foreman is not athletic. No, he's not. Actually, it's kind of awkward. If you can compare anybody to a fighting style of George Foreman, uh, it would be George Foreman to Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce fights like George Foreman. He keeps coming and he chops with you. Skrilla 50, what's up? Skrilla 50 in the building. What's up, brother? Counter punch to you. They guilty, kinfolk. Yeah, well, I mean, they have to show the truth. But Wilder being like Ali, damn Malik Scott for that. And I have nothing against Malik Scott at all. I think he's doing a great job as a trainer and all that. But damn what he said about that shit. That's some yes men bullshit right there, or you believe too much in somebody that you're training. Maybe you're looking at yourself. I don't know. I will look like a baby next to Wilder. You mean like the guy that knocked him out in the fucking amateurs? What's his name anyhow? I keep forgetting his name. It's like he's a Romanian guy. Or was he? Or is he Russian? He was one of those guys. George Foreman was a true juggernaut. Victor Rodriguez. Why do the LDBC channels say that Wilder has more stamina than Fury when Wilder only throws 30 punches for a fight? Hey, you know something, Victor? That makes a lot of sense. And then this will be the true question. Can Wilder throw those combinations, stay busy, stay focused, stay poised, consistently do that round after round after round when you do in fact see Wilder paw with the jab, measure with the jab, and launch the right hand? He doesn't throw combinations like that. He doesn't give you punches and bunches. He doesn't give you those type of combinations that will require you to be that tired. So that is a very good question. Great counterpunch. Matter of fact, I'll do a video on that. That's something I didn't really even think about. But of course, if you're an LDBC channel, your stock is in Wilder. So if you are a channel that claims LDBC, you can't talk about Wilder the way you want to. Even if you may not feel that way, they'll kick you out. You're not an LDBC channel if you don't like Wilder. I'm sorry. You can't claim LDBC. You know, that's along the, you know, those fighters, him, Errol Spence, those are the two top. Those are like, look, if you're an LDBC channel, you cannot talk about Deontay Wilder, Errol Spence. You're not an LDBC. They're gonna kick you. 78's the chief gonna kick you out of the program. You do not talk about those two fighters. Okay, you just don't. It's not, you know, no, it doesn't work like that. Well, they still didn't say his name. These little cocksuckers. Wilder got cheated. He never lost. No, you can't really say that. Tips 42K. I'm going to tell you why you can't really say that. What you're saying makes no sense. You're saying he never lost. No, he lost. If Wilder was cheated, he still lost. Was it right for him to lose because he got cheated? If he was cheated, fuck yeah, it is. But you can't say Wilder got cheated, he never lost. No, he lost. He got that ass whooped. But if Tyson Fury had something in his gloves, had some kind of hard, whatever, spiky, whatever, if they were tampered in a way that required Tyson Fury to crack, break, dent Deontay Wilder's skull? Yes. That's wrong. But he still got his ass whooped. Evgeny, absolutely. Evgeny. Thank you, Laszlo. Evgeny beat him. Evgeny's like fucking 6'2". That motherfucker's my height. And he put Wilder down 3 times. The same right hand punch that Wilder took from what's the Hrgovic in their sparring session is the same right that put him down on his ass in the Olympics. Now I'll say this though. That same punch Wilder gets hit with, he's easy. I think he made him tougher because he never had no one to help him defend that shit. Because Wilder will throw that jab out there. That leaves this wide open. So when somebody sees that jab, especially when he pushes that shit out like that, people see that right over the top. It's easy. It's practice. If you practice the jab and someone is throwing a right, a left, then a right, a left, then a right, and then he gets lazy with it, this is exposed. Okay? So I think Wilder was like, hey, I can take this punch because I'm tougher or whatever. But it's good to be tough, but it's better to defend yourself against that. You know, power and being tough, okay, you can't live off that alone. But no, I mean, you're saying that Wilder was cheated. If he was cheated wrongfully, that should be a no contest, and criminal things should take place, not a fucking third fight. Ali fought Ernie Terrell, who was 6'6", and beat him pretty handedly. I don't think Wilder would make Ali look like a baby. Ali fought Ernie Shavers Ernie Terrell and Ernie Shavers. And Ernie Shavers, they say, had the hardest punch ever. They say that guy punched hard as shit. I remember I used to play with Ernie Shavers on Knockout Kings. He was on, not Knockout Kings. Yeah, Knockout Kings. On the original Knockout Kings, you had Oscar De La Hoya on the cover. If you guys can remember that. Oscar De La Hoya was on the cover of Knockout Kings. You had guys like, you had him, you had Sugar Shane, you had Floyd Mayweather, you had Hagler, Leonard Hearn. Then heavyweights, you had Sonny Liston that looked like a fucking big bear because the graphics were like crazy, right? They like choppy and blocky, but they had fucking Liston looking like a big ass bear, you know, a bald-headed big ass bear. And they had Ernie Shavers. Now Ernie Shavers, you could throw like the haymaker or the power move, and the right hand could knock you out from Ernie Shavers. So they respected that and they implemented that on the game. And I don't know if he's on another game. I'm not sure, but I know he was in Knockout Kings. Then it came out in like 98. And in 99, Knockout Kings 2000 came out, and they had a lot better graphics, and I played that hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Okay, so they had 2001, then they had 2002. I don't remember if they had a 2003, but of course they were changing consoles from PlayStation to PlayStation 2, because I'm a PlayStation guy. So from PlayStation. Then from PlayStation 2, you had, I think you had PlayStation 3. It was on PlayStation 3 also. But then they stopped in 2002. Then they started the Fight Night series. Okay, that's when they started. I think that started in like late 03 or early 04. I know 04, I used to play it all the time. And that was something awesome. Despite the shittiness that was going on with me at the time, that gave me quite a pleasurable experience. So, yeah, shout out to those games. Skrilla 50. Once Wilder is pressured, he'll revert back to his original tactics. That's something that Team Tyson Fury wants to see and hope to happen to make the fight easier for them. I remember Tyson Fury saying and taunting Malik Scott, you know, "You're gonna get it, Malik. You're gonna get it, son." I'm like, what the hell Malik do to you? You know, he's like the trainer. I mean, you don't see Deontay Wilder saying, "I'm going to fuck up Javon Hill. I'm going to fuck you up, sugar. You going to die. I'm going to kill you, coon." Uncle Tom Coon. I'm going to kill you. So, I think Tyson Fury did that because he's seen what Malik Scott is doing with Wilder, and I think that pisses him off because he's teaching him something that actually Deontay Wilder's pertaining. He's willing to learn. So that may be something that Team Fury would want to happen to make the night easier. Because if he goes back to the same old guy, the same old shit will happen. No doubt about it, unless he catches him. So if Wilder catches him, you know what I mean, and hurts him, and Tyson doesn't recover like he did in the first fight, then there you go. But I'm not sure if he will. And that's all that will deal with the coaching between Malik Scott and Wilder. That shows the true connection they have. See, they can talk that shit about how good they are and how good they train. I hear them listen. Actually, I just did a video about Malik Scott and his accomplishments with Deontay Wilder. But the real test would be when they get in the ring and adversity takes place. When adversity takes place, when Tyson Fury's hit him over the fucking side of the head, that same part where he says he has a dent and all that shit. Once that happens and he gets swollen or he starts to swell or he gets a cut, okay, that's when Malik Scott's going to really have to earn that paycheck, because that's when it matters. It's cool to practice on stuff like if he does, but it's another thing, hey, watch him, watch this, watch that. Stay calm, stay focused, don't trip out, don't throw windmills, don't get overexcited, don't, it's going to be a lot of things that he would do. Once he finds out, damn, these punches are still fucking hard, and I know damn well Malik Scott's checked these gloves. That's actually quite frightening. You tell yourself this motherfucker cheated, which is a good idea, because, nobody want to take an ass whooping like that without a reason. Like, I know that motherfucker cheated me. He can't hit that hard. I know he can't hit that hard. But then again, if he cheated you twice, you claim, how do you know how hard this motherfucker really hits? Because you claimed, listening to your fucking flunkies, thinking that this guy cheated you 2 fights. So if he cheated you 2 fights, one with the floppy glove, when he was flicking the glove, and the other one with the cement in the glove, whatever the fuck. Both times you thought he was cheating you. So how do you know what he punches? How he punches? Malik Scott's going to make sure everything is going to be kosher on that end. You're going to bring your own fucking water. You got a new head trainer. So none of that shit you can use. None of that will be the case, in other words, right? So Wilder don't have to worry about none of that. But what if they were wrong? That's what I've been telling people. If they were wrong, it's a scary thing, because now you have to worry about a guy that can hurt you. Fuck what your ego told you. Fuck what your flunkies and your yes men told you. That shit is bad, because now you have to deal with this guy hurting you as well as you hurting him. Counterpunch. So that's going to be the thing. And that's when Malik Scott's going to have to, okay, hey, watch that left hook, because he's throwing it. He's countering you with the left hook. So, and it won't be, hey, something in there, check the glove, stop the fight, no. You know what I mean? That won't, no, that won't be the case. So all the people that come on, hey, you cheated, he's what? Stop. And then it'll be, and I think this will truly be the last chapter if Wilder loses. Now, if Wilder wins, there could be another fight. But there's no contractual agreement for another fight. So that being said, if you see another fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, part 4, and this is way off topic, but part 4, you will know that Deontay Wilder has once again ducked AJ. And that's if AJ gets past Alexander Usyk. So it's a lot going on in the heavyweight division. It's a lot. But let's get back to Oscar Valdez, Canelo Alverez. Let's talk about Alverez for a minute, right? Alverez tested positive in 2018 between the first fight and the second fight. He was supposed to fight Triple G in May. He tested positive, so he fought him again in like September, October, right? So the question is, did they look for that substance? Like, what could be the reason for this positive reading? Or did they already know? See, here's the problem. If they already knew that this is the possibility, why did they take the substance anyway? If they knew, like, hey, okay, like for example, people tell you don't eat sesame seed buns because you can pop dirty for THC or whatever. It'll make it weird. Or if you had a DWI, don't like eat heavy tomato sauce because if you blow into it, it'll register that you've been drinking alcohol. Especially if there was wine that they used, right? Because a lot of Italians use wine, right? Italians use wine for their food. So if you're eating food that has wine in it and you don't supposed to have it in your system at all, okay, the question is, why did you eat that anyway? That should be something that you shouldn't have even ate. See, the whole idea, the best thing to do is like, I don't know how the fuck it happened. But then you start researching. Like, look at Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller's another. He's a part of this shit. Jarrell Miller got tested for that, EPO, I believe it is. Again, right? And they got popped for it. He got popped for it. And he came then with the dick pills. Remember, he had the he had the sexual performance enhancing pill that he said, well, this is what I was taking. Therefore, that's how, because it was real minute amounts in there. So, you know, that's something that you can say to save face, but to the masses, what does it really mean? It means you're a fucking cheat. And it's bad for Oscar if he all of a sudden knew, or you found out after the fact, that this shit had something in it. Okay, that's the problem. You know, because the question you ask yourself about Canelo is, well, how did Canelo know that they had that in there? Until somebody told him, hey, well, you know, this happened in clenbuterol. But he did have another case that was similar with the soccer players. They went to Mexico, they ate, and they all tested positive. So that's believable to a certain extent, but it's like, it's still carelessness. He can't hurt. He's not used to it. Only AJ knows how to cause it his style, okay? Difficult to compare the past with the present. In the past, they were generally tougher, fought more regularly, and had a vast ring experience. One should check Deontay Wilder's wrapping and gloves. He is the one with the one-punch knockout power. Frankie AJ Nostos. Well, no. Because shit, it's not okay. It's he said someone should check. The someone are the people that work for him. That should have been JD's in the past and Malik Scott currently. Those are the people should check for the gloves and to see if they were right. So that's why it's no evidence saying I believe he put something in my gloves. I believe Mark Breland drugged me, and if he was drugged, he should be one of these motherfuckers. That would have been a case like, okay, hey man, you drugged somebody. And in that case for Wilder, since he didn't look good, you can believe that. That would have been believable. Because it's like, okay, he was kind of drunk like, but the punches can make you drunk. You ever heard of punch drunk? Right? So, I mean, but him having that in his system and him like, hey, I didn't feel right throughout the fight. And then he caught it on there. But here's the fucked up part about it. Wilder should have still been suspended. Why? Because it was something that he was responsible putting in his body. Like this bottle of water here. Well, if that company had something in it which you were unaware of, you shouldn't drink it. And people wonder why Tyson Fury didn't drink the water, because he didn't want to test positive for shit. I'm sorry, but doping is everywhere. Luca Singanti, doping is everywhere. Okay. Lennox Lewis did not make excuses. He got a good trainer and improved his technique. That's true. El Kasi 1971, CP, DeVille. What's up, brother? Counter punch. Hit those likes. Let's get those likes up. We got over 60 people in here. Let's get the likes up. Another boxing game needs to be put out like now. Skrilla 50, I am 100% with you. And that would be Like I'm playing Spider-Man Miles Morales right now, right? That's that. But I want another boxing game. I want another boxing game. And I'll be watching Showbiz the Adult. They have some game. I don't know if he's a part of it or whatever. I don't care. I want to see them. I want to see this game come out. I hope it comes out and they keep implementing people on this so-called game. I'll holler at them about it, but to get more intel. But so hopefully that's the case, you know, and we could get fighters from Jack Johnson to Jack Dempsey, you know. Malik Scott equals Captain Lou Albino. I don't know what that means. Wilder would have that killer energy towards Eddie Hearn. Yeah, he would. He'd be ready to, I will kill Eddie. Eddie, you gonna die, you blue-eyed devil. You a slave master. He can go back to the old him because he was cheated in a row. Now, tips 42K. I appreciate that. There should be more guys like you to a certain degree, because if you felt that Tyson Fury was just this big-ass cheat, there would be no need to train as hard as he's training to know new shit. Like Cannon Briggs said, Deontay Wilder fights like a drunk octopus. I never heard him say that, but that's funny. Scants rants, glaza glass. Blood for blood, eye for an eye. We don't die, we multiply. To this day, Fury cheat in big fights and paid Fury a bum. Yeah, that by association shit is a killer, because you can associate anybody with anything. It was clever though. It was clever. You want people to know that you're a cheat. If you cheated before, that's like the backbone that people will use. Not saying you did, but that's what people will do, and that's exactly what people done in this situation. But it just shows you too, I don't think people are that furious about him being cheated. I think Deontay Wilder fans are just cheated because he lost. I don't really think. I think they're mad because Tyson Fury did that to Wilder. You know, a lot of people were hurt on that Joshua shit. When Joshua got his ass beat by Andy Ruiz, every excuse came up in the book. And a lot of people, I covered all of it, because it's like, okay, did he come in? If he was sparring and he got concussed, he shouldn't have fucking been there. But that's if, right? And this is what I'll say. The same thing I say about Wilder, the same thing I say about Joshua. Those guys, when Wilder was throwing those right hands in the second fight and landing, coming over the top out of nowhere and catching Tyson Fury. Even though Tyson Fury kind of went back with the punch, it didn't really matter. He was still able to throw that punch. He didn't look bad then. He didn't look bad until his ass started getting hit. Anthony Joshua didn't look fucked up until he got caught with that left hook. That's when they looked fucked up. So it is what it is. We will worry about it if Fury was cheating when they get in the ring. There you go. And Scants Rants, like I told you, if you were here or not, if Tyson Fury can still hurt Deontay Wilder, I think that's a scary part. That's something that Wilder wouldn't anticipate. And I don't want Wilder to put his guard down on one thing. I want him to consider the possibility of Wilder not cheating him the way he feels. Big dog, don't let these goofballs turn you into a Wilder hater, the LDBC bunch of clowns. No, they're not gonna make me a Wilder hater. They, you know what it is. People can get frustrated from fans. If you're a fan of something and you believe a certain type of shit, ever heard of once a cheat, always a cheat? Okay. Well, I've heard Deontay Wilder say, I would never fight a cheat either. And he did. And he's doing it again if that's the case. Exposaholic. So if that's the case, shit, he's a liar too. So once a liar, always a liar. You heard that shit. Ain't you heard that too? Counterpunch. He fought Ortiz also. He said he'll never fight Ortiz. But Walter Birch, that's what I'm saying. None of those guys, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, they didn't look fucked up until they got caught. Now, if something was wrong with him prior or whatever, you can't prove that. Why do you think Joshua was like, fuck that? No, I got beat. Better man. I got beat. He went back to the training, went back to the gym. He didn't fucking he didn't clown. He didn't stay quiet like a bitch. He didn't say that. He didn't let a bunch of channels feed a bunch of bullshit to everyone because we're in a pandemic and we couldn't do shit no way but listen to a bunch of fucking Globe and bullshit articles about cheating and shit. Oh, he cheated before, guys, and so that means he'll cheat again. That doesn't mean he cheated this time. That means he has once cheated. We're not God, people. We don't act like that. People fuck up. Oscar Valdez just fucked up. Either he was careless or he was malicious. He still fucked up. Canelo Alverez still fucked up. But does anybody care right now? Is he still kicking ass right now? Is he still one of the best pound for pound boxers around? Yes. And nobody gives two shits. So there you go. So the only person that cared or would care about somebody once upon a time cheating is a person that's butthurt over their favorite fighter that's getting hurt. So you guys are fucking hurt. You guys are hurt over that shit. And it's bad. That's why we need this fight, to suppress that shit, to get it out your system. And if you're hurt now, if Tyson Fury does that shit again and beats up Wilder, which I think Wilder is going to do better, I think if Wilder if this is not all a ploy, because we gotta consider some shit here when we're talking about people getting drugged, people taking accidental drugs, people not knowing they took drugs. You know, we have to look at some shit that may be right in front of our face the whole time. Wilder saying he was drugged. You tested no fucking way. Nothing was bad about you. Meanwhile, Oscar Valdez is a guy claiming, I drunk some fucking tea and the tea had fentanyl in it. Right? So, but you tested positive for it though. Canelo Alverez tested positive though. You know, and another thing, that's going to make that circle look bad. That circle look fucked up. Mario Salazar, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Chris Mason, what's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. When AJ lost, he never supported the excuses coming from social media. When Wilder lost, he supported all the excuses. Well, Frankie, that just shows you the difference between two people. That's all. You look for a guy that can't take a loss, and you look for a guy that embraced it. Well, Joshua embraced that shit because he knew a better time is going to come. You got me this time. You know what I mean? He congratulated Andy Ruiz, and Andy Ruiz is the one that acted an ass. He's a robot. He can't really fight. He's stiff. Meanwhile, he went home, got fat. Got fatter. It's video evidence Fury cheats in all of his big fights. Either you're delusional or hate what Wilder stands for. And what does Wilder stand for, Exposaholic? What does he stand for? And what evidence that Fury had? What evidence do you have him? IB Aki. AJ is the greatest fighter ever and clean. Canelo is a bum. Dude, look, motherfuckers are tripping. Video evidence. You sound like Aki. You watch that shit, Exposaholic. You're watching slow-mo of Glove. Are you talking about Glovegate 1 or 2? Which one are you talking about? Lola Lipsy. Hey. Lola. Counterpunch to you. Juleson Nicholas. Fury fans rather talk instead of actual fight happening. Well, I mean, hey, you got to say that shit about Wilder too. You know, even though Fury put some bullshit, I don't believe in the COVID shit. I don't. But I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, man, that man's cheated. When he didn't cheat, he just actually beat the shit out of somebody that couldn't really fucking fight. Come on, man. Why do you think Malik Scott's taking so much fucking time with Deontay Wilder right now? It wasn't because he was drugged in the first fight. Because he would have been in this, he would have been who we talking about. Wilder tested positive, guys. Why is it Wilder? Hey, he had some type of shit in his system. Then Wilder could say, hey, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't feel right. I felt foggy, right? I felt foggy. And then he could be like the rest. He would still be tested positive for something, though. I'm sorry, he would still be in that situation. They would have to suspend him. The WBC, he's the WBC heavyweight champion, or he was at the time, right? It would have been his first offense. He would have got a slap on the wrist like Canelo, right? And the others, like Oscar will have. So that's it. But back to that, why do you think Malik Scott's training him so fucking hard? Malik don't believe that bullshit either. Bad day at the office. He had a bad day. That's all he says because he knows that's only a distraction. See, if a person, you wake up, sleep, eat, think a person cheated you, you get mad and mad and mad and mad, and I want to go in there and whoop them. But if you thought that you could do that, why do you need someone to do that and to help you do that? If you thought you were the better man that night and you just got cheated, well, there you go. But if one of those things were true about that night, he should have been in there, or they should have caught that. Wilder clean and strong now, people mad. Armand, yeah, I mean, the thing is, I think Wilder's going to be much better than he was. But here's the liberating thing. He won't be able to use the shit that people gave him to use. They gave him to use that shit. Let's keep it 100. They gave him that bullshit. All that shit you talked about the first fight, that shit happened in December of 2018. But now all of a sudden, since he lost, all of a sudden you using that is a reference of cheating by Tyson Fury, and it wasn't a reference passed on December 3rd of 2018. You know how fucking far away that was? That's almost 3 years ago. That means that motherfucker went from 2018, all of 19, and in 20, he did it again, and you missed it. Oh, now we found it. Oh, but wait, he was cheating. Get the fuck out of here. Bullshit. That's bullshit. Let's keep it 100. You didn't catch shit. You just love to talk a bunch of shit about how a person was cheated and that little pity party, and it's really bitch shit, really, because it's look, the shit is for a person that couldn't take an ass whooping, that says someone cheated. If he cheated, he should believe that. But does he really believe that doing what he's doing? And this is what I think. I think Malik Scott came to him, and Malik Scott was the guy that told him, this is what we need to work on. This is what I can do for you. And that's what he's been doing. That's why he looks better. That's why he's fucking working on combos and slipping shots and body punching and working on his left hook, his other fucking hand. That's why he's doing that. He's not doing that shit because I was cheated. He was doing that shit because he wants to be prepared to whatever comes. Because there might be a case where it just might be Tyson Fury can actually hit him and hurt him. Regardless of what his mind, his egotistical mind tells him. He can't punch. Okay. But do you really want to test that shit? Do you really want to get hit with a punch like that? Wilder got cheated, but the loss only made him train for life and death because he really understands some cheats never get caught. That's interesting. But he was already training for life and death, right? That's why he didn't want to stop the fight. But that's interesting. That's some slick shit. Man, they got a doctorate on this shit. Look, if he didn't get caught, whose fault is that? If he didn't get caught, whose fucking fault is that? See, that's that type of delusional shit where you just think a person's going, and you really believe that a person's cheating, and you can't prove it. That shit's like, anybody ever seen Shutter Island? No, is it Shutter Island with no. Leonardo DiCaprio? Anybody ever seen that shit? AJ is a contender. The top 10 wins are fine, but championship must be other champions surely to be considered the best. Surely not Charles Martin and Parker, who just had a life and death with Chisora. Hey, they need to get in the ring with them. That's it. They all need to fight each other. Then we'll know who's where. Dillian White has beaten more world champions than Deontay Wilder. Yeah. I mean, he got beat by an ex-champion. And let's keep it real. Luis Ortiz was never a champion. He was a championship contender. He was never a champion. He was never a world champion. So, you know, I know that's kind of dirty, but I mean, it's true. Because I like Ortiz. I'm an Ortiz fan. Who are the champions White beat? Okay, Parker, ex-champion, right? He got dropped. Povetkin, he got knocked out the first fight, then fought him again and beat him. Who else? Lucas Brown? No. Derek Chisora. Was Derek Chisora ever a champion? Oh, yeah, that's right. They did. Char and Povetkin. Okay. Held the Char. Well, Char only been beaten once, right? Wilder beat 2. Wilder was gonna fight Povetkin. That shit was, dude. That shit was nasty and murky, wouldn't it? It's called a wake-up call. A wake-up call for who? For them or for us? You mean for Wilder? It's a wake-up call for Wilder or for us? Because when you say it's a wake-up call, you might be closing your mind to a delusional mindset. People call, I'm woke, but you're not fucking woke. What you're doing is you're thinking that something is true that at first you weren't convinced, but then you find out it is, or you believe it is. It's all about belief. Cairo Middleton. That's what I want to. I want to see Luis Ortiz and Dillian White over any of these fights right now. I'm sick of like the top 3 or whatever. I want to see Ortiz and White. Let's talk about other fighters. Let's check the poll. Okay, so we have 361 votes so far. 74% says he is guilty. 26% says no, he's innocent. All right, let's get those likes up. I am _Dave. Kurt Ortiz popped dirty, but Wilder still fought him anyway, so why not Povetkin? True. But I mean, you have to understand, nobody wanted to fight Ortiz. And when Ortiz popped dirty, they pretty much that was their route out. That was their route out of the fight. Nobody wanted to fight Ortiz anyway. That big bastard was knocking everybody out. He was a tricky southpaw counterpuncher that was very aggressive on the inside. Nobody wanted to fuck with him, including Wilder. Wilder was a young, quote-unquote, baby champ, as said by his manager, and he didn't want any parts of him at the time. At the time. So you wait for a motherfucker to be 39 years old. Okay? You wait for him to be 39, and then you take a fight with him, saying you'll never fight with him. So that was like 2 years before. Then you claim you, or maybe 2.5, 3. And you claim you was never going to fight this guy. Well, that makes you a fucking hypocrite, don't you? And that makes you a liar, too. That does. Every day you learn new things. And if you go back and watch anything 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, each time you should catch something different. So what you say means nothing. Well, I tell you this. You can watch it how many times you want. You can watch other fights also. That doesn't mean Tyson Fury cheated. And it took you 100 times to figure that out. Like somebody's a genius for saying that Tyson Fury had floppy ass gloves. You know why that exposaholic? Let me lay something down on you. Do you know why they took off that Chris Colbert interview? The powers that be wanted it snatched off, therefore it was gone. Do you know why? Because Chris Colbert was making a statement that made sense. Lily and anybody over the age of 40 can get it. White. Hey, that's true. Because Povetkin, that motherfucker, boop. Yeah, he got it back too, didn't he? AJ never tested positive because he's on the TUE exemptions. Watch Kurt avoid that like the plague. He's called Fury a cheat, but ignores AJ's testosterone exemptions. IBK Aki. I've done that. When you say these TUEs, yeah, I know what you're talking about. I've made those videos. And what I say about that is, if you have exemptions and you have loopholes to take drugs, that doesn't make you better than no fucking body else. That just means you're smarter. Okay, so I will avoid that like the plague. No, I never avoided it. You know, just like the same, like I don't really talk about that like a lot of, like I don't talk about Wilder's right hand. How many people talk about Wilder, oh, he could knock people out because he has the iron in it? Well, the only reason he has the iron in it is because he had to fucking replace it. There's nothing to do with his strength in boxing or punching power. The right, you know. You guys act like this motherfucker's jacks or something. Wilder's got beat like a bongo drum. You guys are wrong. Jake Paul, undefeated knockout artist, cash cow goat. Jake Paul's future fights will be filled with all-star fighters on the undercard. Jake Paul is for the people, young fighters, aging fighters, women fighters will appreciate Jake. Okay, Scants Rants coming in with that dub. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Okay, let's put Wilder. Okay, let's put why Wilder fought Ortiz in context. Okay, 3 people popped dirty against Wilder in 18 months, with Ortiz being the last. If Wilder didn't fight someone, he was dirty at the time, then who was he going to fight? Well, to answer your problem or your question would be Joshua. He could have fought Joshua. See, that was all at the same time. He could have fought Joshua then. Because you know that fight was actually in talks in late 17. So he could have fought Anthony Joshua at the time. And it wouldn't have been undisputed because you had Joseph Parker still with the WBO. So it wouldn't have been an undisputed fight, but it would definitely have been a unified fight. And then whoever would have fought Parker, and Parker would probably ended up with more money, but then he would have to wait for whoever the second winner would be because they would probably implement a rematch clause. So, you know, but that's the answer to your question, though. You're smarter keeps that same energy when you're talking about Fury and Wilder than AJ fanboy. I mean, look, I mean, what do you mean? You're smarter. Are you referring to Tyson Fury being slick? Dude, you don't have to fucking be smart or slick to do shit. Ask Margarito. Margarito tried to be slick with some bullshit. He got caught. You have to watch shit. You have to have an experienced person that knows how raps are, what's legal and not legal when you're dealing with fucking facts. When you're dealing with fucking facts about raps and gloves, you're supposed to know and supposed to see how that goes. Kurt, why does AJ still carry that IBO belt and he pays a sanctioned fee to hold it? Brandon, I have no fucking idea. None. That's the best question. What is the deal with the IBO? It's like maybe AJ's trying to make the IBO popular, you know, but I don't know. I have no idea, Brandon. How cute, Jake Paul, undefeated knockout artist, cash cow goat. White beat 3 former champions, Povetkin, Parker, and Lucas Brown. Okay. Jake Paul Undefeated knockout artist, cash cow, GOAT. Message to Counterpunch. Support the people's champ, Jake Paul. All right. Why you talking about Wilder? It was a question that was asked, Boxing Hot Topics. But you're more than happy to ask about what the topic is about. And that's Oscar Valdez, Canelo Alverez, Luis Ortiz, Dillian White, Jarrell Miller. Anybody that tested positive. Are they guilty or not? AJ was never going to fight Wilder, Kurt. Okay, that's why they never offered 12.5 or 15 million or 100 million or 120 million. So stop. That's just like saying, look, listen. Let me counterpunch and break it down to you. IBK Aki, right? Probably Aki TV. But anyway, Aki, let me tell you how it works. All you need to do in situations to find out what's real and what's not, turn the shit around. Just turn it around. If Deontay Wilder would have sent an offer to Anthony Joshua, with Anthony Joshua being the WBC champion, and they would have offered him 12.5, and Anthony Joshua turned around and called that slave money, just think about it. Just think about what I'm saying. And then they offered it again, 15 million. And then AJ says, you know what? Let's offer you in 2018 $50 million on an email that AJ himself sent to Shelly Finkel, right? Like, where the fuck is Eddie Hearn? What the fuck he paying him for? But he sent it to Shelly Finkel saying, hey, Deontay Wilder said that he wants to fight for 50 million. He can fight on Sky Sports for 50 million. But he has to agree in this email first. So they call Shelly Finkel, and Shelly Finkel, hello? Yeah, this is Eddie Hearn, right? You guys agree to take the $50 million. Well, you got to send the contract. We're interested. No. What? You got to send us the yes or no first. You got to agree first. I'm not going to agree without the contract terms. That's exactly what happened. Late 17, Joshua said in an interview he wasn't fighting Wilder until 2020. Well, it's 2021 now, ain't it? You know? But what the fuck happened in 2020? Wilder got his ass whooped, didn't he? That's what happened in 2020. He got beat up. He lost the belt, and then guess what? He agreed to fight whoever beat Wilder for the Undisputed. Now, didn't he? AJ was tested many times than any other heavyweight. What are you talking about? It's just some shit you can't prove. You know? Scance Rants, come on, DeVille. In 17, AJ said in an interview that he wasn't fighting Wilder until 2020. Well, it's 2021. Appreciate the love on the Super Chat donations. You know? Everybody get like Scance Rants and show some love like Scance Rants, even though we don't agree. We'll agree about that cash. Appreciate it, though. But no, it's 2020 now. It's 2021 now. And in 2020, Deontay Wilder lost. Okay. So, Exposaholic. In 2020, Wilder got cheated. Well, he still got beat up, though. You seen the punches hit him, so. You know what I mean? And it ain't like he got hit with punches that did. It wasn't like those punches that Margarito was hitting Cotto with. And I got a video steaming up a bit between Cotto and how he was cheated. Cotto was cheated by Margarito. We seen the glove. We seen cracks in the glove. In the wrap. Amok PvP. No joke. I seen a video of someone explaining why Jake Paul has a better resume than Wilder at this point. Whoa, what? Hell no. Let's stop. No. If that's what it is, if you guys believe Jake Paul, if people believe Jake Paul is better than Deontay fucking Wilder, Put him in there with the Bronze Bomber, and I bet you the Bronze Bomber will come to wherever he's at. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, he beat the shit out of that other guy, didn't he? They like that juicy ham. What the hell does that mean? Wilder lost to a number 1. AJ lost to a number 23. That's the difference. Ooh, counterpunch. Well, look at it this way, IBK Aki. You got a guy with 1 loss, and he had a split decision loss to the guy that was the current champ for the WBO, and his name was Joseph Park, and he fought Park in his backyard. Then he fought Anthony Joshua and beat him. AJ lost to number 1. Wilder lost to number 1. What the fuck made Wilder number 1? I mean, let's be real. What made him number 1? Let's be real. What made Tyson Fury number 1? Tyson Fury wasn't a champion. Oh, that juicy beef, eh? They like that beef. Salty IBKIK. No, so don't talk about what was number 1. Matter of fact, Tyson Fury wasn't even fucking ranked. And look, Wilder took that fight because he thought, hey, I wanted to knock out Tyson Fury a while ago. But it's going to be easier now because I seen him. He was 400 pounds. But I'm going to give him the opportunity anyway versus what I could have been doing with my fucking career is going for undisputed. At least if he would have fought Joshua and lost, that's if he would have lost. Not saying he would have. That's where people got me fucked up. But if he lost, at least he know he tried. See, it's one thing to say, hey, you know what? This guy didn't want to fight, but they offered me all this. Now all of a sudden, I want to talk about loyalty. Well, bitch, you said he was scared. You said that Joshua and his team was scared to fight you when they offered you that money. Amok PvP, Ruiz Jr. was robbed by Parker, gift decision. A lot of people think that shit. Just like a lot of people think that Derek Chisora was robbed by Dillian White and Joseph Parker. Counterpunch. So what are we really talking about? What are we really talking about? Appreciate that love, Amok PvP. Joshua rejected $50 million. He rejected $50 million on the email. How? Was it a contract sent? No. Was it a discussion? Yeah. How was the discussion? You had 48 hours to say yes or no, or 24 or some shit like that, without a contract, to look over the terms? Come on, man. You got to be real. You have to understand. You have to like have some fucking sense. And the sense of the matter is, you don't send someone and guarantee them $50 million without a contract. Beef. You just don't do it. You just don't do that shit. Like, that is unprofessional. It's unprofessional. Hold on just a second, guys. Sorry, guys, I had to take this call. Let me join and I will educate you, Kurt. Join on what? Oh, this ain't StreamYard, IBK. No, I know you're not Aki then. You got more balls. I give you that. You're not Aki TV. Aki TV don't want any type of... He don't want any type of confrontation. I can read lips. All right. Diamond Swabway. Kurt, I enjoy your reviews. Please just say something with a Mayweather voice. Diamond, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, pounds. I prefer pounds over money, but all money means me. TMT, hashtag money team, money all the way. I piss money. I shit money, I sweat money, and I am money. That's all I gotta say. Must appreciate it also, Diamond. Appreciate you, man. Let's see. Fury was number 1. He dethroned Klitschko. What did AJ do? He retired Klitschko. That's what he did. Next, counterpunch. Amok PvP. The 50 million email offer was sent from Canvas app. The motherfucker was sent from an email from a fighter. Let that shit sink in. I am _Dave. I agree with RBK Aki. The Anthony Joshua that we thought we had was an absolute bum. Andy beat him, and I had Andy, and he was the worst fat slob piece of shit that I could have ever promoted. I was going to fight him. I threw him to Al Heyman. I said, Al Heyman, you do what you want to with this fat bastard. He just needs to pay me for my money. He got a fight, and Eddie Hearn, being green as he is, let that fat piece of shit in there with his premier fighter in Madison Square Garden after Jarrell Miller took 100 jobs. He took 100 jobs and drugs all at the same time, and Andy Ruiz beat the shit out of the tall, bodybuilding Joshua. He's a bum. Klitschko was inactive for 2 years, coming off a loss to Fury, and 41. Okay, when Tyson Fury fought him, he was 39. Okay, what does that make you fucking great? No, it don't. You know, it don't make you great. Does that make Fury great? No. Fucking bullshitting, pot-shotting the fucking guy, not engaging, pulling the Interslandi Lada and shit, fighting Klitschko. Does that make you then didn't want to fight the rematch? He decided for the drugs. 39 and unbeaten in how long? In 9 years. That's correct. But I mean, you can do something once, twice. I mean, you could do something once, one time at least. Okay. How many? Yeah. So he did it once. Could he do it again? Lightning strikes once, but does it strike twice? That's the question you ask yourself. So him being number 1 doesn't mean dick. He never defended anything. Okay? You can do something once. Yeah, you can, I guess. Let's see AJ fight Bum Ruiz again then. True. Made a lot of sense. Good counterpunch. But let's see Andy Ruiz fight someone else credible also. I mean, if we're going to be fair about it, let's be fair about what he can consistently do. Such an AJ Casual. Not an AJ Casual. My expertise is far above yours, my friend. You claim to know boxing, but you only a fan of Wilder. Actually, you're a Wilder casual. Ruiz is a bum and knocked your fantasy out. Well, that's what you think. You know, fair enough. Tyson Fury went in there and beat the shit out of your fucking guy, and all you can do is say he cheated. That's your scapegoat. You motherfuckers have no boxing fan, dude. If you're saying that he cheated, Tyson Fury cheated, but then say he was number 1, right? Didn't you say that? So now you're saying he's number 1, but then yet you say he's a cheat. Which one is it? He cheated to be that. No, that's exposaholic. He didn't cheat. Okay, you believe, so you're a Fury fan, right? You're a Fury fan. All right, so that's exposaholic. They always say that he cheated. Well, so Tyson Fury didn't cheat to you, right? No, I mean, I thought you were exposaholic. I'm sorry. My fault. You're a boxing fan. Well, that's why we have to see these guys fight each other. Because what you're saying is Tyson Fury beat Klitschko at 39. But then when he came back after 2 years, he was no good. That's just like saying that Yordenis Ugas' victory over Manny Pacquiao is shit because he was 42 years old compared to when he beat Keith Thurman, right? There's a crossover with Fury and Wilder fans when it comes to AJ, just like the fighters themselves. Yeah. I mean, you're going to like one and hate the others. You know, I don't hate any of them. I just know the truth between all of them. All this shit. That is true. I mean, AJ had nothing to fucking do with Tyson Fury beating the shit out of Wilder. And people hated that fucking... Do you know how many people hated on the AJ Fury fight, talking about boycotting it and all that bullshit? Amok PvP, why can't we just be a fan first and fighter second? Because at the end of the day, listen, when Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder, I was shocked. I was shocked, and honestly, I was disappointed because I was hoping that we would get the Wilder-Joshua fight. But then it made me think, well, this is boxing. I mean, Wilder was beat too. So the balance is balanced. You had Anthony Joshua, loss, TKO. Deontay Wilder, loss, TKO. Same rounds. So, there. Now you had Tyson Fury. He's the only one that hasn't been beaten, but he's also the only one that hasn't really fought anyone really else of importance besides Wilder. And then Klitschko's retired, and he's been retired for 3 years. So nobody really cared about that. Let's hit that like button. What happened to being diplomatic and seeing each other's boxing in their resume? What happened to it, Catherine? I don't know. AJ is a contender. That's why he gets hate. He hasn't done anything to be labeled as a unified champion. So, the question would be to you, Aki, if Tyson Fury would have beat Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury would have beat Deontay Wilder, would Deontay Wilder then be what to you? Legend of All Sheet. What's good, Kurt? Fanboys are so emotional and insecure that they're dumb enough to pay to see their favorites beat cans. Yeah, they want to see them showcase fights. Greetings from my brother from Jalisco, Mexico, Juan Zamora. Juan Zamora. What's up, brother? Counterpunch to you. Those are just opinions. Look at his record. Okay, so if Tyson Fury would have beat Deontay Wilder, and how was Tyson... Wait, you said Anthony Joshua hasn't done anything, right? So if he hasn't done anything, what has Tyson Fury done besides beat Wilder? And Wilder ain't done shit. Wilder didn't beat Klitschko. He beat Ortiz. He knocked out Dominic Breazeale. He wasn't no undefeated fighter. He wasn't no one of really mention after he got fucking whooped. Fury did beat Wilder twice, you clown. Okay, well, what are you saying? What else did he do? That's what I'm saying. He fought Wilder. You fought Klitschko years ago. What else have you fucking done? What else have you done? I mean, IBK, Aki, what else is there? What has he done? He talks a lot of shit. It takes him years to fight a fighter. Look, he fought Wilder, had a draw. It took this motherfucker a whole year and like 4 months to fight. Exposaholic and IBK. Hey, we're in the trenches. See, IBK, the person you should be talking to is Exposaholic, because Exposaholic is the one that thinks Tyson Fury's a cheater. You're a Tyson Fury lover and a fanboy, so you need to talk about that to him. Because that's what you're gonna get. You know, this is the sit down. This is the trenches. This is why we're here. Meanwhile, who did AJ fight in the time? Ruiz. Yeah, He had to get the shit back. He got his ass whooped. Next. So what do you think? He's going to fight without the belts? He had to get the belts back. You think somebody just gave fucking AJ the belts? No. He had to fight for the motherfuckers. He had to fight Joseph Parker, undefeated. He had to knock out Charles Martin, undefeated. Kurt, get IQ tested. You can't even talk. Okay. Hard move. I know, right? He say I can't even talk. Well, obviously you can't think because you're not thinking straight. He unblocked the division. Fury didn't defend shit. He didn't unblock anything, right? He look, the guy didn't do, he just got high and drunk and got fat. That's it. He beat Klitschko and fell the fuck off. I mean, you act like that's just like saying Anthony Joshua allowed Mexico to have their champion. You're saying the same shit. None of them make sense. Defend now, you're right. Martin didn't have any. Martin was trying to defend it against Joshua. Parker, I think he had like 2 or 3. To be fair, so because he fought Ruiz, and when did he fight Ruiz? In 18? No, 17? Come on, man. He beat Vlad. That did unlock the division. AJ has a miles better resume, but it doesn't mean he's better. Well, the thing is, everybody's gonna have to fight. Ooh, I'm smacking any Fury fans at the fight October 9th. IBK, if you're there, you better not let a Sposeaholic know that it's you. You're gonna get smacked. Fury was stripped of one of the belts that day after. Well, no, it was probably about like a week after. But it was a close time frame. Fury beat Vlad when he was reigning defending champ and beat one-dimensional Wilder that possibly could be beaten by AJ. Now all he does is talk and con everyone. Hey, nobody had the opportunity to fight Wilder. Not Dillian White, which should have fought Wilder before Dominic Breazeale did. AJ has not done that even once. Has not done what even once? What the fuck are you talking about? The only person that he hasn't fought besides the same person was Wilder. So all Tyson Fury did was Wilder. So you're talking about AJ has not done that once. He's the 2-time unified champion of the world. He's fought Vladimir for the WBA. So what the fuck are you talking about? Dethroned. Well, I mean, Vlad came back in the game. You have to take him out, and he took him out. See, Tyson Fury ran from that fucking fight. Okay, IBK, he ran. That's why he got drunk, because he wasn't fucking sure of himself. The mental illness was probably actually fear. Let's be real. Tyson Fury fucking was doubting himself. He doubted himself that he could do that shit again. Okay? That's what he doubted. Yeah, he did it, but he wasn't sure that he was going to do it again. And since that, he decided to fall off. And he fell off. Because Klitschko was coming for him. That same plan wasn't working twice. Exactly. That motherfucker, what Tyson Fury did was, Tyson Fury won. He was undefeated. Then they had that gloves are off, behind the gloves or whatever it was. And they know, and he knew. And he felt like, hey, I wasn't feeling right at the time. You've heard him. If you're Klitschko had 12 rounds, Kurt, what happened? Yeah. He fought him 12 fucking rounds in a snooze fest. What happened in the AJ fight? So you want to talk about a person being not... Think about it. A 39-year-old versus a 41-year-old, that's 2 years. Oh my God. Kurt hates that Fury batters his lover AJ. Ah, this fucking guy. Let's get this fucking clown out of here. You're done, son. You're done. I'm tired of fucking with you. Kurt don't play favorites. He keeps it 100. No, he's good because he's gone. You know what I mean? Because, like, that's... And then you're still going to watch. There you go. AJ versus Usyk going to get pushed back. Mark my words. Eddie wants to fight after Wilder so he can run if he wins, but go into undisputed with AJ and Fury if Fury wins. Well, hey, if Fury wins, they're going to have that fight. That's true. Part of that's true. AJ versus Fury going to get pushed back. Mark my words, Eddie wants to fight after Wilder so he can run if he wins. No, it don't make sense because what you're saying is that they're going to push the fight this month back to wait. No, they're not. They can't do that because if they do that, Exposaholic, you got to get counterpunched. If they do that, that means that the WBO then will strip that belt from AJ. They don't have that. They don't have that luxury. They can't push that fight back. Trust me. The WBO will snatch that belt. It's either he had to fight Usyk or he dropped that WBO off. And then you could probably see a fight like Joseph Parker and Usyk fighting for the WBO or something like that, or Joyce, right? Rather. AJ will beat Usyk. Okay, we'll see. Let's talk Canelo and Valdez heads again. Let's go. So, how many of you guys, let me check the tally. How many of you guys believe that Oscar Valdez is guilty? Do you think, in your honest opinion, all boxers dope? Told my curtain agree. No, I don't. I think there are people that don't fuck with it. But, you know, the weird thing about performance-enhancing drugs, I think at the end of the day, it doesn't make you win anything. So I think people look at it, yeah, it's something to acknowledge, like, hey, he was doing something that he didn't supposed to do. But does that mean you're really going to win? Does that mean you're really that good? Does that mean it's going to really make you better? Does that mean clenbuterol actually made Canelo a better fighter? Does it mean that? That's the question you ask yourself. And see, the good thing about a person, like, you never seen, as of now, we never seen anyone that tested positive for any type of banned substance or whatever hurt and kill somebody. See, we don't really know. Like, we've seen people that test positive. We've seen them test positive or what hurt them. But did that mean they won? No. We don't have the entire details until we see the test. Well, we know the A sample, he tested positive. We know that. We know what he said it came from. So, I mean, that's his alibi or scapegoat. Oh, it's going to be C19 or injury. Ooh, don't say that shit, man. Damn. No, because, no, that fight's happening. That fight sold out. No, that fight's happening. You know what I mean? That AJ Usyk fight, that shit's happening. That ain't going to be no Tyson Fury, I think I'm going to fight, then I don't know. Then I think I'm going to fight, then I don't know. Then I'm fighting Wilder. And even some karma hit that ass. Wasn't that karma? Because, see, people thought that he was going to fight AJ. So that was a big bullshitting moment. And then turned around and, oh, shit. Tyson Fury Dalsa. Big up CPN. Yeah, we're waiting on the B sample. Okay. Let's wait till it gets there. We got 609 votes. So there's too much at stake if they drop the AJ fight. Yeah. That's why I don't believe it. I mean, that's Exposaholic, you know. But I mean, Exposaholic made some huge accusations. He made some big claims. He said that Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder 3 is bigger than Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. Hell no. Now, we can look at the possibility of Tyson Fury not wanting that fight. You know, has Usyk ever had a history of ped use? Nope. Him or Lomachenko? Nope. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao? None of those guys. Let's talk about Bud versus Porter. Purse bid is right at the corner. Yeah. I'm gonna. What? That's this week, right? Quick recap: who tested positive? Factual. Factal. Oscar Valdez. Yeah, Wilder also. Yeah. But I mean, you know, Wilder hasn't ever been like accused. See, it's all about perception. When you associate drugs and certain people, all it takes is somebody to start that shit. Who started Manny Pacquiao doing PEDs? Do you guys know? Or should I say, do you guys remember who started that? I love how everyone... Hold on just a second. I miss the days where nobody talked about the money, the promoters, and the network so much. Well, then, you know, you don't see a lot of fights that happen, a lot of big fights no more. A lot of them get shitted on. Floyd had the illegal IV and also the high HGH in his hand. Man, I don't know. I mean, that's speculation. But that, you know, some people think everyone's on it. So it is what it is. But as of so far, guys, we have 628 votes. 76% say Oscar Valdez is guilty. And 24% says that he is innocent. So you have the numbers, the mass is 76% to 24%. You guys keep voting. We've had a great live stream, a lot of debates, some cool, some annoying, but nonetheless, keep watching. We'll get together another time, maybe tomorrow. You guys tell me and keep voting on who do you think, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.